All right, you all, we're continuing this discussion on is it worth it to be married? Last week we had ladies. We got them back again
Got
this
'em back
week.
again.
So tune in if you want to hear the ladies' perspective on is it worth it to be married in 2026. We'll be right back. What's up?
We are back
We
again.
are back.
Not like we left, but
Yeah, it's not like
know
we're
what I
going
mean.
anywhere. And we've been wearing these same
We
clothes
stay
for 2
same
weeks
clothes,
now.
So
I'm
let's just be
No,
honest.
that's
I mean,
not.
we just took a break.
We just took a break.
But we are back.
We are back.
with the ladies, just to continue our conversation about is marriage still worth it? And so is it okay if I just kind of jump in, or do you have any comments before
Nope.
I just jump in?
I just want to remind our lovely
we didn't
viewers
remind people.
to
We
like,
sure didn't. We just jumped
share,
in.
and subscribe. Hit the
Yes.
bell for notifications so that you'll get notified when we publish content. Make sure you give us some commentary below. Whether you watch this first series or not, go back and watch the first one. I will put something up probably in that corner to point you to the original video on this 2-part series where you can learn the ladies' perspectives so that when you watch this one, you'll have all of the tea. So you'll come in notified.
Yes.
So we're going to get into it. Turn it over to my Oprah-esque
Yes, you're so
hostess
wonderful.
wife here. Do your thing, girl.
Yes. So, in our last episode, I think we kind of ended on one of the things that you talked about, Tahana, was chemistry.
Mm.
Okay. And so, like you said, when you think about marriage and when you're still pursuing it, what do you think is most important? Chemistry, shared faith? Like do you have to have all of these things in common? Character? When you're thinking about like what's going to be the thing that's going to push me over, to be like, okay, like we might be considered to be okay together.
Shared faith.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
even have to question that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That needs to be number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gotta be.
I don't even think there needs to be an explanation.
Yeah.
Just
It doesn't, but usually everybody's not at the same level of
That's
maturity and
facts.
faith.
Because we
right?
definitely
We weren't, right?
Andre was,
And-
as he likes to say, he was a heathen.
Right.
I mean, I didn't think he was like totally heathen. But,
Right?
Right.
Oh my
he,
goodness.
he was kind of heathen.
Yeah, I still had
He
I didn't have
heathen
both
ways.
feet in hell, but I definitely had one
Yeah, the
foot
toe?
over there.
Okay.
Right,
You
had your big
right.
toe in there?
No, he had a
Yeah,
foot. No.
yeah,
Yeah,
I had a foot over
Oh
there.
Lord.
Right,
Oh, he
right.
said a foot. No, he said
And
foot.
so,
Ooh.
yeah. So definitely came from the knucklehead tribe, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so when you get with somebody, what'll happen, and this will tie to my earlier question about preparing to be a wife, because you get with somebody and you may find yourself at different maturity levels,
Yes.
Mhm.
but then you may pray that man into his
Mhm.
Yes.
maturity, right?
Yeah.
So what about potential?
That's a
And
good question.
Yeah.
Look,
You know
Tahana
what?
first. She's
Oh,
like-
well, go ahead.
Potential
All right.
in what? To grow in faith, or just
just
potential as
whatever. I mean,
well, there's all types of potential,
Oh,
right? You can have
wow.
a
So I'm 39.
hello.
I think there's levels to potential.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need you to at least be in the young adult stage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is spiritually, that's mentally. That like you don't have to match my energy, right? You don't have to be at the same level.
Mhm.
Mhm.
However, a baby in Christ will probably not work for me because I've put in so much work
Mhm.
over the past few years. I don't have it in me to get you to that level. I really don't, if I'm being honest.
Mhm.
I think that it can happen. Like when I was 20, my husband and I, we were in the same space. So
Mhm.
I was more willing to work through
Mm.
all of the immaturity.
Mhm.
At 39, I'm not. So being a baby in Christ, a teenager in Christ, I would have to say no. That's a no for me. So I need you to at least be in the adult stage. You may be early 30s and I'm late 30s, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
But didn't
And
he
then
say-
potential, like in other areas,
Well, while you're thinking about that, it sounds like, okay, of the pool of eligible candidates, they at
Mhm.
least have to be churched, right? You ain't gonna take no girl. I believe it's higher power. I'm cool
Yeah, I
with.
can't
No, we're
do
not
it.
doing a higher
I
power.
can't
I
do
believe
it.
there's something in the universe. There's something out there.
I
Yeah.
need you to
So
be able to
Unfortunately,
Jesus.
I've
That's not
they
gonna
they've
work.
got to be
yeah, it's
churched to some
Yeah.
degree,
To
right?
some
yeah,
degree.
Yeah.
Okay.
it ain't
So
worth
Because
it.
who doesn't want to
It
talk
ain't worth
about
it.
not it's I want to be able I don't want to explain to you why I'm on my knees crying on a worship song. You know what I'm saying? Like I want you to be able to come with me and share that with me. I like when I'm able to talk to you about the Bible. We can read scripture together. You can help me understand something or I can help you understand something. But if you coming to me talking about God is a woman or I believe in a higher power or I just believe that, the universe answers all that's not I wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
do that. You know
And
what I'm saying? That's just not
sorry.
where I am. No, go ahead. I'm
Yeah,
used to it.
I want you to go to God about me.
Yeah.
That's
So
good.
when there's
That's real powerful.
concerns,
Just
there's
that. Yeah.
issues, I need you to go to God about me.
Yeah.
Like, just that should be your first
Mm-hmm.
thing. How do I handle this situation as a man? How do I
Yeah.
lead her in the way that I'm supposed to lead her?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not at a certain level
Mhm.
in your faith, you're not going to do that. You're going to react
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
to the human side of me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, and we both have to do that. We both need to do that. I
Yeah.
mean, you may not do it all the time. However, that's really important because
It
I've
is really
already
important.
done it. So my perspective might be slightly different from, a single woman that has never been married, but I've been married and we
Mhm.
went through the
Yeah.
trenches and we
Mhm.
went through all of the crazy. Like we did that. So at
Mhm.
my age, I'm not willing to go back to
Mhm.
that space. I'm just not.
Mm.
Yeah. And
That's
to your
understandable.
point though, like you said, there's a lot of men out there that probably feel, like you said, the exact same way. Because when we had started this whole series, we were talking about how, like you said, there just aren't as many people getting married,
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
and so that's what sparked the question for us. Like, is marriage still worth it?
Mhm.
Because obviously it's not just Christians who aren't getting married, it's also people in society that just aren't getting married. And
Mhm.
so, like you said, it's having, like you said, it's having to navigate all of those different balls, and then like you said, being able to weed out what you like and what you don't like. And then, like you said, but having a realistic list because nobody's coming to the table
They
perfectly.
Mhm.
they not.
And
Mhm.
so, and it's like you said, and when you're older and you feel like you've established and all those different types of things, like you said, you do have to, this is for men and women,
Mhm.
you do have to be able to say, okay, not that I'm just willing to accept anything,
Mhm.
but there are going to be some things, like some people make a
Mm.
list.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, I need this and this and this and this. There are some things like even on your list, you just might not be able to
Might not
get
get.
in this
Yeah.
person.
Mhm.
They might
Yeah.
eventually grow into this person,
Yeah.
but like you said, it's like you said, just being able to navigate that and to have your, like what you said, it's like, okay, that's non-negotiable. Because I think whenever you're dating somebody, there's always going to be non-negotiables.
So I got another stump the chump
Oh boy,
question
here
here,
we go.
right? So
Andre always has stuff.
right. So but I'm a stats person, right? Now I like
Right.
statistics
Mm-hmm.
and so let me preface all the stats and the facts and the data in that faith in what God said trumps all stats, facts, and data, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
so so if God has said something to you, none of this matters, right?
Mhm.
I do want to add to that though that one, the marriage rate, in 1960, the marriage rate, was somewhere for all populations across the U.S. was somewhere in the 90s.
Mm.
For the African Americans, it was like high 80s.
Mhm.
Today, I think generally across the board, it's like 40 to 50%, and for African Americans, it's under 30,
Wow.
right?
Mm.
Yep.
In terms of the marriage rate, right? And so, when I hear you say, okay, he has to have a certain level of spiritual maturity, well, one statistic that we've coped with in the Christian community forever is that men are the minority
Mhm.
in
They are.
any
Yeah.
church situation.
I was just
Mhm.
about to say
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they
and so
are
that
the
really
minority.
shrinks
Look at our church.
the pool of eligibility
Hello.
becomes very, very, very
I
small.
don't
So,
think we have
I
it
mean,
yet.
Amen.
and I'm
Uh,
not trying to cast doom or gloom over here, but then
No.
what, if you're talking to the sisters out there that are in the situation, what hope, what can you say to them to either inspire hope or to overcome what seems like a statistical mountain, right?
I think if they're willing, if you have a guy who's willing to learn more about Jesus
That's
and
what I was
willing to
gonna say.
develop a
Yeah.
relationship with him. Now, I get where Tahana is coming from because she is a bit older.
I'm
She
sorry.
tried
She
me.
said a bit.
You see, she
Hmm.
tried
I'm
me.
only a
But
couple
if
years
you're
older.
She
willing
tried it,
to get
sis.
to,
She be trying
you
it.
did a sermon about the baby chair and what was it?
Yeah, the four chairs of ministry.
Yeah,
Four
if
chairs
he's
of
in a
ministry.
chair,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm feeding him. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
I can. Yeah, I'm like in the middle range with
Uh-huh.
that. If you are willing
it.
to want to do the work, and you're asking me stuff because
Yeah.
you genuinely want to know and you really want to try to get to that level, I can't. What am I? Who am I to tell you no?
I love
Baby,
them
come
for
on.
that.
Let's come on.
She loved
I
that for
love that.
us.
I
love
She's
that
just
for
not
them.
willing to
I
do
But
love
it.
I'm
Come on.
not.
I
Yeah.
love the in between part because once again,
I am. I'm in between. I can't
it's
lie. I'm in
it's
the
the
in
draw.
between. Yeah.
Yeah.
and it like you said, because you're already because obviously I'm not gonna hide the fact of who I am.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm
You're
not.
gonna know that I'm a Christian. You're
Yeah.
gonna know that.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
if you don't want to engage
Mhm.
with a Christian,
Mhm.
then you're gonna walk anyway.
You gonna
And
walk
that's on either side
regardless.
of the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so once again, so to me, it's kind of like what I was saying, like when me and Andre were together. Andre had like all these ideas and stuff, and I was just like,
Mhm.
well, I just felt like since he stuck around,
Mm.
that he wanted to
Mhm.
engage in what I was doing. So I
Yeah.
invited him to church, and so he started going
I
to
don't know.
church with
Some
me,
people
and
stick around, but they
and
don't
all of
stick
that
around for the
stuff.
good
He
part.
got
Good reason.
baptized, at the church,
Yeah.
so it was just like, oh, okay, well then he's serious about sticking
Yeah.
around, because did you go to church before we got married?
I went to church for the purposes of getting some girl that I was attracted to, right?
That's why I said it don't always be good. It don't always be good intentions,
I
but
was,
Yeah.
but
I did.
sometimes they will for
But how
that
you get
reason.
there
But how did
doesn't
that
matter.
work out for you?
Uh-huh.
How did that work out for you?
Well, up until this last one,
Well, I took you to church.
yeah, you did.
Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Don't
No,
know.
no,
I
you
took
did.
you to
You
church.
you brought me
said
to
I
church.
took
Parents'
you.
marriage is similar.
Yeah.
My dad was not going to church. My
Mhm.
mother is a PK. And it's very similar situation to what you guys are saying. And so I think that works. So once
Yeah.
again, we didn't go through our ages, but they're younger than I am. So
Mhm.
she's in the middle and she's the youngest.
Right.
So I think you're just willing to deal with
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
real
or
talk.
Yeah,
kind of
just-
go through the
yeah.
journey. The younger you are, the more you're open to. So
Yeah.
for
Mhm.
me and Andre, what I want to say, it's weird calling you Andre, Elder
Okay.
Andre.
No, it's
I was
fine.
gonna
It's
say
fine.
Elder.
Andre,
No,
Dre
no.
is fine, right?
Oh my God.
Who is
Okay.
that?
I feel like I know, right?
Okay.
So I feel like because I have already been married.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah,
those of you that don't know,
yeah.
I was married for 5 years and my husband was killed. So we have 4 kids. They all got the same daddy. And so I feel like I am okay if I never get married.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
I want to be married. That
Mhm.
is my desire. I've
Mm.
wanted to. But I have learned how to be okay in the season that I'm in, be okay with being single. And if God says, hey, this is where I want you to be, I'll be there. If
Yeah.
God says, well, no, I want you to be over here, then I'm okay with that. So I think
Mhm.
that my perspective is just slightly different because I don't have that longing that I
Yeah.
think some women have where they're like, oh,
Mhm.
I've never been married or I've never had
Right.
children. I've
'Cause
never
you've-
experienced.
You've got it. You've
I
got
do.
it. Like
I-
you've had that.
Yeah, I had that. And so even though it was cut very short, I
Yeah.
still feel like just the space that I'm in at the current moment, he kind of needs to be
Need
at
to
a
be
certain
there.
level. That's
Yeah.
just it. Because I don't need you bringing additional stress. I've
Gotcha. Yeah.
done
Mhm.
way too much
Mhm.
over 15 years by myself. So that's just something that I probably just won't compromise on.
And the place where I'll agree with you is, so I've been having these conversations with my sisters. and my sisters, they're, I have one sister who's in her 40s, and I have another sister who's in her 50s. And I think they're both like what you said. Like, okay, I'm okay with being single.
Mhm.
Their desire is to want to be married,
Mhm.
but they're okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the person comes along, they're like, great.
If they
But
don't.
once again, like you said, just having that level of, okay, you got to come differently than what you
Yeah.
would come, like you said, if I was in my 20s or if I was in my early 30s,
Yeah.
because I'm not there anymore, and I'm
Mhm.
still yet evolving.
Yeah.
And so to me, one of the things also that's to your point is you really want somebody who's going to grow with you,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
remember, we're building.
Mm-hmm.
And
Building,
so
yeah.
if you, like you said, if you marry somebody, and I'm not saying that that it's impossible to do that, but if you marry somebody that's here and you're here, the building process to me just takes longer.
Takes
Yeah.
Because
longer.
I'm not going to
Mhm.
say that you can't build.
Yeah.
It just
It
takes
takes longer.
a little bit longer
Yeah.
to build.
That
Yeah.
makes
So-
sense.
Johanna, at one point, you wouldn't date like a minister or a pastor, but that's where you are now. So has that changed?
Absolutely not. I still don't want to date a
But that's who's on your level.
No, but remember I said, right, 10 minutes ago, they don't have to be on my level, right?
She did say that. No, she
But
definitely
they don't have
said
to
they
be
But
don't.
on
you
my
won't
level.
accept lower than where you are.
No, but I
We're here in
will.
the church, though.
I will. I'll accept, lower spiritually.
Uh-huh.
But the other stuff she ain't doing.
Like
yeah,
what?
but
'Cause
not
she's
like
built
real
herself.
low, right? There's
It's levels
with
to
me,
it,
there's
yeah.
levels to everything.
She did say
So
that.
still not minister, pastor, but not
But
a new
I need
member.
you, I don't want a man to come and say, "Well, I got a relationship with God, but I don't go to church."
That's the
I don't.
that
What do you
can make sense.
mean? You don't have a community of people that have similar beliefs? That doesn't
Who's
make
to say you
sense
can't
to me.
introduce him to that community though?
I
And maybe he's
can.
a quick learner. You know
I
what
can,
I'm
but
saying?
then we have
God
but
is
then
a
we have to
redeemer of
dive into
time.
why you don't go to church.
Yeah,
Okay.
why don't
So
you?
do you have childhood issues with,
Church
when you
hurt.
church hurt? Like, we need to dive into that, because that's going to seep over into our relationship
Right.
and possibly our marriage. So we got to dig into that. I mean,
And
So
I
I
like
saw
what
some-
she's saying, though, because once again, to me, that's what the whole dating process
Mm-hmm.
is all about.
Mhm.
Because if you can iron all of that stuff out
Mm-hmm.
when you're dating,
Dating, you
Mhm.
figuring that out
then
now.
when you get married, it kind of, like I said, that becomes a big evolution.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
But you do have to be able to work that kind of stuff out
Mm-hmm.
in the process.
in the process of
Yeah.
dating. And for some people, those are tough conversations.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And because those can be make or break.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I don't think there's anything wrong with having make or break conversations while you're single,
Yeah.
because you don't want to have,
Say we
we
supposed
find that
to.
even when you're married, married couples are getting divorced. Why? Because they're having make or
Great
break
conversations while
conversations.
married.
While
Yeah.
married.
And so
Yeah.
I would much rather have the make or break conversation
Mhm.
before, because what's
Yeah.
going to happen is when you get married, it's like, but you already knew that about me.
That's it.
But you
Mhm.
still,
Heavy on
you
the,
still
you
wanted
knew
to
this.
marry
Yeah.
me. It wasn't a
For
big deal
sure.
when we were dating.
Yeah.
But now you want to make it a point of contention now that we're married.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can't, to me, you can't really pull that card.
Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
You know,
kinda
'Cause you still
can't.
married him.
You
You
still
still
married
married
him.
me.
Right. You knew that. That,
Yeah.
that
Knew you
wasn't a
married.
For
secret.
sure.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all for short circuiting the dating process, right?
Right.
If the a fact comes up that, hey, this is not going to work, let's short
Let's
circuit
cut it
at
out.
this
That's
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's simple. Just
Well,
cut it
I
out.
do want to expand a little bit, Tana. So would you describe what you just said as a rule or a guideline, right? So a rule says thou shalt not break. A guideline, there's a little bit of flexibility, right?
Mhm.
So is it more of a rule or a guideline?
It's a guideline.
Okay.
But tight on the guideline. It
Right.
just,
Tight tolerances on
yeah,
it.
I have a tight tolerance for it. Yeah, I would really prefer not to date someone that just started going to church or just became a believer. Because I do too much in the church right now.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
to
that
have
makes
to
sense.
baby him
Yeah.
in the relationship.
Mm.
I
I
can
think
see
it
that.
works, and I think that there's nothing wrong with that because, like I said, my mother, she was a bishop's daughter, which
Ooh.
is huge in Church of God in Christ. Like,
Yeah.
so, and she dated someone that didn't go to church. And now, I mean, before my grandfather passed and my mom started going to another church, my father stayed at the church with his father-in-law. Like, that's how deep he got into it.
Mm.
So I don't think anything is wrong with it, and I think that it could work. But at this stage in my life,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and if my percentages of marriage go down, I trust God. That's
Okay.
just
Yeah,
it.
that's
I
good.
trust
Yeah,
God,
yeah,
and whatever happens after that, then that's just what it is. And I
yeah.
get it. Everybody's not on that level, but that's just where I'm at.
No, that's
You
good.
don't have to defend it.
Yeah,
It's
you don't have to defend
Yeah.
yeah,
it.
that's
So, 3 single ladies on the couch. What do you find to be your biggest obstacle in reaching that place of like getting the ring and getting married?
Um, right now, my biggest obstacle is consistency. You say you want something, but once you get it,
Yeah.
it's like, uh-oh, I got it. How do I manage that, right? The person who deals with management does not know how to manage a consistent relationship
Wow,
because
that's
I've
good.
been going back and I've been dating, right? Not serious relationships. So now that I have the opportunity in front of me, it's kind of difficult me to stay consistent with managing that one person.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So that's my biggest obstacle right now.
so without incriminating yourself.
Uh-huh.
You know what does that mean? I mean, so it's staying consistent. So when you're dating, to me, it's like okay, we're both exploring, right? So I
Right.
think there's an expectation of inconsistency, right? Because we're in the exploration
Yeah.
stage, right? But what's your expectation around consistency while you're dating somebody?
Um, Communication needs to be consistent at all times for me.
For you,
For
okay.
him, for me. Now, the very thing that I require is the very thing that I lack. So
Interesting.
I am struggling with remaining consistent with communicating with one person. Because when I was dating, I believed I can date multiple people. You know what I'm saying? That way, because the expectation wasn't there. But when you start talking about being into a relationship and being exclusive with that one person, that means now not all of my time, but some of my time and attention goes to you. And when I was single and just dating just to date or dating multiple people, I didn't have that expectation of I need to check in with you. I need to talk to you on a consistent basis. Honestly, I would use church as a reason as to why I can't communicate with you consistently.
You sure did.
I got meetings, I got services, I got this, I got that, and they were okay with that, right? Because we weren't serious. But the more serious that I get with a person, the more is magnified that I have an issue with consistently communicating. I'm
Lemonade?
learning.
Well, I'll say for me, within the past few years, it's just been time. I've just
Yeah.
been so focused on so many other things. I have not made the time, right? Because you can be busy, but you make time for what you want to make time for.
Absolutely,
Hello.
absolutely.
And so I just really haven't been invested in a relationship or even thought about being invested.
Mm-hmm.
Has that changed?
That has changed.
Okay.
But yeah, I would just say I just haven't made time for it. And then also I think to Andre's point, um, I'm pretty strict with my guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So it just puts me in a different category.
Mm.
Now I will say, because Mika and I have talked about this, I have met some amazing men.
Mm-hmm.
But there are just some non-negotiables that I'm not willing to settle for.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes they misconstrue the words settle and compromise.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
They do.
so I'm not willing to settle on someone that's like a functioning alcoholic. You guys wouldn't believe how many people are functioning alcoholics out here.
No, I would
Mhm.
believe it.
Okay,
know
you
a,
might
I know
believe
I,
it.
I
a
would
Okay.
believe it.
no.
Many.
Yeah.
And so these men, they seem amazing. And I won't just say men, just people in general.
Mm-hmm.
Because women are
They
functioning
have it all
alcoholics as
together
well.
on the
Mhm.
outside. And then before you know it, you're like, wait, you go to the bar how many times a week?
Yeah.
You know, and so, and that's a whole nother topic. But I have met a few in the past few years, and I'm just like, Lord, help me. So I think because I have these guidelines, it takes the dating pool for me is here, and then it's just like here.
Yeah.
So between time and just what is out there,
Mhm.
and I'm also not really good at putting myself out there either.
Mm.
That's a good,
So, yeah, I'm not in certain spaces. But I feel like a lot of people, they'll meet their future spouse in odd spaces. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Ugh, I'm not going. Mika will talk about me in a minute. She'll
She'll
be like,
cancel.
Tahana, can you go? And I'll be
Tana
like,
cancel
"Oh,
in a heartbeat. I ain't coming. Be like,
excuse
dang.
me. You don't have
Because
to
you
confirm.
I
know
love
what?
you, but you
Tahana
know you
is
do.
just the more mature out of all three of us when it comes to dating because Tahana has
Mhm.
been through what she's been through, right? Again,
Right.
she's been married. So
Right.
she
You
doesn't
been
have
there.
the
Yeah.
unction to be like, I want to do this. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that allows her more time to focus on other things.
Mhm.
And again, she's selective about who she gives her time to. That's the only reason why she's been single. Don't let her fool you. It's not a grand scheme of things. She just said that her biggest thing is time, which means she has selectively chosen not to invest her time into certain
Right.
people, which is completely fine. And I love that. That's where I want to get. Because I'm like, okay, I think everybody deserves a chance. She's like, no, sorry, you don't get a chance. So that's where I desire to be the older I get.
Hmm.
So
But I
that's
think
up to
that's
Donna.
really important because, like you said, to me, it really kind of explains a lot about why statistically the numbers are lower.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like when we were dating, it was just, it wasn't all of that.
Yeah.
Like you said, it just wasn't. And so, like you said, it's just like listening to this conversation. There's just so much to navigate.
Oh my God.
Like you said, everybody's in different places. Everybody's
Yeah.
doing different things. And even for you, Tahana, and for you, Mika, you guys have kids.
Yeah.
And so once
Yeah.
again, just navigating that ball
Yeah.
of, okay, I'm
Tough.
now about to introduce somebody, not just
Yeah.
into
My
my
life.
life,
For my child's
but
life.
into
too.
my
life,
child's
too.
life.
That's it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
That's
that's
big.
to me that's like a whole separate screening process.
It is.
Yeah.
I
You
know
know.
it
It
is.
is
It
a
gotta be.
separate. But let
is.
me ask y'all, when y'all were dating, right? Was there different stages? Because we have the dating phase, talking phase, exclusive phase,
Listen.
relationship phase, semi-relationship phase. Like
Yeah, because I can't
when
get
you
out the talking
guys,
phase. So.
did
It's
y'all
so
just date
complicated.
and then y'all decided to be together, or were y'all talking, then you moved from talking to dating?
It
From
was
dating,
kind of weird, because I did ask. It took a long time,
did take a
right?
long time.
I chased around multiple states,
okay, Miss Florida,
and
period.
I got rejected in some of the most dramatic
I
ways.
did reject him.
She's like,
Yeah, it was. And we were both college, both Greek, right? And so
Okay.
both in
Yeah.
the
That's how we
life,
met.
and
that is. Yeah, I remember y'all
and so so it was challenging. And then of course I caught her on the tail end of her hot girl summer, and so she was
Okay.
I
done
don't know if y'all
with.
can believe that. I mean,
Period.
I
She,
sure
was-
can.
she was
Yeah.
done with guys, right?
Okay.
Because we all evil, we all were out to whatever. So
Yeah.
I remember one night I was like, okay, I'm gonna try one more time because she had played me several times, like I said, across multiple
Hey,
states.
he really loves
Not
you.
intentionally.
So we were at a mixer at a friend's house, and we were there talking, and she's just going in. Y'all are full of this, and you ain't got nothing, and this, that, and the other, and guys are this, that, and the other. And I was like, "You want to go out?"
I love it.
and
And I said yes.
and she said, "Yeah."
I don't even know what.
Sure.
I
I'm
don't
So
even
like-
know
you
what
just
made him say
talking, Miss
yes.
Lana. You were.
This is
Yeah.
Texas Hold'em, man. I'm
Yeah.
all in at this point.
Yeah.
I ain't
I
got
love
nothing
it.
else. I ain't got no more
Mhm.
cards to play.
I
So
love that.
there was sort of just going out, hanging out, doing things for a while, and then at some point the exclusivity kicked in.
I want to say it only took like maybe a month
A couple
or so.
months
Yeah, a couple
before
of months
exclusivity
where
kind of
we were
kicked
like
in.
exclusive.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
just dating and exclusivity.
Yeah, it was just
Okay.
dating and then
didn't-
going
So
to
we've made it
exclusives.
complicated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Our generation
yeah,
has
that's
made
the
it very
problem.
Yeah,
It's so
we did that,
complicated.
and
It's too
then-
many
Yeah,
know,
it was
you
like
guys-
engagement and then marriage,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's
you know?
it's some the phase is I like you,
I mean,
but I can't act like I like
like
you.
you.
And then when I act like it's so
It's-
high schoolish. You know
it's
what I'm
too many
saying?
rules. They got like
Um,
80,000 rules. They
and
don't want to be
now-
seen as a simp. All this other crap they come
I
up.
think that women
with.
have done a huge injustice to ourselves as far as having sex before marriage because now no one cares.
That's
Yeah.
so true.
If
Yeah.
you don't put out, I know she's about to put out. Like,
Right.
so
Yeah,
we've
they could
done
care
such
less.
trying to own our sexuality as women has kind of done us a grave injustice because now,
Right, because my sister, like I said, I've been having these conversations with my sisters, and my sisters kind of like echoed that. So they feel like, okay, that should not be one of the first things that you should be expecting.
But that,
you know,
it is.
after
But it
we
is.
are.
But it is though.
But like you said,
Unfortunately.
so for them that's a big turnoff. They're like,
Mhm.
man, can we at least go out on a date
Mhm.
or whatever?
Mhm.
And so, like you said, but we've the women have kind of created that
Mhm.
for the man to think that, okay, then this is where we are.
Yeah.
You know,
It is very weird, right? Because in my generation, it's disrespectful to kind of it was just disrespectful to just go, off the rip. What we doing, right? It's like
Mhm.
just right off the rip. But
yeah,
now,
that is true.
yeah, you just
we
you
didn't do
you
that.
didn't we didn't do that, right?
It was like awkward on
yeah,
our first kiss.
Yeah, the first kiss is
I
kind of
was
awkward,
like,
right?
he like dropped me off, and I was like, "Are
right.
you gonna kiss me goodbye?"
Yeah.
And it was just like you just did. It was like, mwah. And then it was just like, oh, it wasn't like nothing passionate or anything like that.
Well,
But now
you
it's like you
know.
coming in. What?
Well, the one
Yeah.
you serious about too. That's the other thing too. When you viewed somebody you were serious about, you weren't going to try that because
Yeah,
you
you're
might
not
get
gonna try
rejected
that.
real quick, right?
Yeah.
It's like you just didn't want to do that, right? Now if it's
Being intentional.
some sort of trick or whatever, some sort of whatever, you didn't care, right? You didn't care because you didn't care if you got rejected. Yes, that, but someone you were serious about, you just wouldn't insult them
You're
that
not
way,
gonna treat
right?
them that
Yeah.
way.
And-
If they care, you're not gonna do that.
The
Yeah,
world of
yeah.
sneaky
You
links
care.
has taken over.
Yeah.
But that's
and-
really
Yeah.
interesting though, because that becomes an obstacle
It
Yeah,
does.
because
in and
how
of
dare
it-
you try
in and
to
of itself.
abstain, or how dare you try to be different than what we're used to? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like the girl who's actually trying to do it right, you're now looked at as not normal.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's
And
true.
the woman
Yeah.
who's just willing to give it all, that's the normacy that we've developed in this generation. So that's
Yeah.
a huge obstacle of dating because you're trying to date Christ-like, right?
Mhm.
But now it's like, well, sweetheart, you keep that.
I can tell you though, from a male perspective, it's really interesting because it wasn't always a Christian woman that be like, man, that's the one that I want to be with. Because
Yeah.
Sure.
believe it or not,
Yeah.
in my
They
generation,
don't
the
want
more
that.
church they was,
Yeah.
the
The rest
more.
are one of
The
them.
more,
Yeah. That was the one that was the quickest.
Mm-hmm.
Out there just giving it out.
Yeah.
That's
That
what
was
they say.
very
Out there
little-
just giving it
very
out.
little effort.
Yeah.
Not me.
Especially
Right.
especially
Not
the
me.
PKs, unfortunately.
Yeah, very.
Oh, so they looked at us like we was-
Especially the PKs.
Yeah,
I know
very-
that's what everybody
yeah.
named Mama
And
used to
they-
I
say
used to
about
think that
me.
Christian
Yeah.
women was like
No.
top
No.
tier.
Girl
There's
time.
certain
No,
Christian
ain't
women, right?
certain.
There's certain Christian women, but
Exactly.
most girls that was church, quote unquote,
Was the
church
easiest.
girls, they were very
Well, baby,
easy.
I know they
right?
thought I know
Very
they used to
easy.
think I was extremely
They usually
easy growing
start
up.
talking the dirt before you did, right?
That's
crazy.
Yeah, because they
yeah,
had to try.
Yeah. And
They
so,
do
At the
because
all night prayers.
yo, man, don't all night services.
I mean,
don't let it.
the
Yeah.
thing we had to sleep
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
the shut-ins.
Shut in.
Yeah,
Oh, baby,
girl.
those was, you talk
Jesus.
about Diddy having a freak off,
Stop.
right? In the
Don't-
church.
That's really what a freak off is.
It's like, all kinds of things went on
Oh
in
my
church,
goodness.
right?
Lying though, 'cause it's
Okay.
exactly-
Older now, so
Yeah,
where's the value in the?
and I'll concur with you on this
That's
because
a good point.
right now we're older and it's so weird because I can barely go on social media anymore. Like this platform's on social media, whatever. But I go on social media and all you see is women of all ages, like seriously thirst trapping, right? Just
Yeah.
seriously
like soft
putting
Right.
everything out there,
Unfortunately.
right? So then
Yeah.
if you're a man in this environment, you think, okay, this is the average,
That's the
right?
norm.
Right. That is the
Yes.
norm.
When that's not
Yes.
really
Absolutely.
a woman, right? That's an image. That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
trying to get likes and clicks
Mm.
and pay
So
and
social
So how do
whatever.
we
media is not
compete
real.
with that? I'm
Yeah.
not trying to compete with that.
Right,
You know
That
what I'm
and that
saying?
becomes the obstacle
Yeah.
because, like you said,
It
how
does.
do you compete
I'm
with
gonna
that?
send you no picture, sir. Like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I
Do
feel
you
like
know my
that
last
depends on
name?
they
Like,
like unless you discipline or not too.
Huh?
Like, I
I'm not
guess
doing
as
it.
a man,
Period.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if you discipline or not, like the way your man is set up and stuff, then
Right.
yeah, it'll. I mean, we all get tempted, but
But it's also, in my experience, it's worse dating in the church.
Yeah, I don't. That's a whole
That's what I was
nother
going to
issue.
ask you guys
It's
next. So
Where
it's
you,
like, what
it's
is that? Yeah, what does that look
because
like?
you have certain expectations of
sure
meeting
do.
someone in church, right? But that's not how it goes.
yeah,
They
Yeah.
talking about, you want to come over for what, man
Yeah.
of God? Like,
yeah.
What
To
you
your
doing?
point,
What am I
about
doing?
how women have been seen, like Christian women have been seen in the church, we feel the same way about the men
Yeah,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
there is such a small group of them.
yeah,
If we
Not a
just think
lot.
about our church, right, or our church may be a little extreme, but just a larger church.
Yeah.
Where there's a few more men, like we really don't even want them because there's so many women that come at them.
yeah.
Andre, I can give you some names, and
I'm
I'm
sure you
not,
can. I
Mhm.
of
can.
people
I know I
in the
could.
churches that
Yeah.
are married that have tried
Married,
to talk to all of us.
Yes.
yeah,
Multiple churches,
Mhm.
multiple.
and it's like, I know your wife.
And don't let
I'm
you be on
heavy
a
on a. I'm gonna
praise
tell your wife
team,
if you
a
don't leave me alone.
musician,
Yeah,
whatever it
it's
is, you minister.
so no.
It's like the more the hierarchy you have in the
Yeah.
ministry, the more they
They
come at you like,
they
hey,
I
how
don't
you
want,
doing?
and so then that leads back to my issue, and this is another obstacle of me wanting a man that's at a certain level.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm it's doing this
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
dating
Mhm.
because it's like some of those men, not all, but some of them, I mean, they're a hot mess.
Yeah.
It's just bad. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. You know that, like, I'm a Christian for real. Like, I may not
Hello.
be perfect, but like, you have a whole situation and a family and all the
Hello.
things. Like, how
They
dare
don't.
you?
Mhm.
It's
Like
the
it's so
audacity, but they
the
do
audacity.
it anyway.
It's so disrespectful. They like have no coof. I'd be like, what is your problem? Like, are you for real?
Yeah.
Like
So
you
that-
you
But
joking?
once again, women in general have set the standard,
Yeah,
and
You've
the
allowed
standard
it,
is
yeah.
on the ground.
on the
Yeah.
ground.
Like, that's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
where
That's
it is.
good.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, because I'll
Yeah.
say, a dog's going to eat where the food's at, right?
That's
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I can tell you for the three of you that said no, praise God, there were probably others
That said
Facts.
yes.
that were willing,
Yeah.
Facts.
right?
Yeah.
And so
Mhm.
I build
oof.
up a competence and a confidence to do that kind of stuff. The more success I have,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For
so I
sure.
wouldn't approach you boldly if I didn't feel like there was a shot.
So
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
question is more so for Tahana and Tamika because you have kids.
Mm-hmm.
How do you talk to your kids about marriage? I know I didn't have it on the list, but like you said, how do you present marriage to them? So like you said, because they're the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you guys see like all of this, you know, do you think that your kids look at marriage like, oh, okay, that might be something that I might be interested in? I mean, I know yours is younger, but
Oh, but he's already brought marriage to me.
oh, nice.
And it's because I'm not married.
Interesting.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's
That is very interesting.
So he doesn't want his kid, this is at him 12, 13 years old, right?
Hmm.
He doesn't want my story to be his story. So his conversation is, Mom, when I get married, then I'm going to have kids. Or Mom, when I get married, my wife won't have to do this, that, and the third. So he's already building his perception off marriage based on him having a single mother.
Interesting. That's
Mm.
good though. Yeah.
So it's nothing that I'm like ashamed of because I'm proud that he wants the opposite of how me and his father chose to do things, right?
Mhm.
So now he values marriage at 12,
Yeah.
13 years old. He's like, Mom, when I get married, I don't want this, that, and the third. Or and now he has a plan, right? Like, oh, he just doesn't want to be married, but he wants to have a job and he wants to be able to be a provider. This is a conversation he's having at 12
That's
years
powerful.
old.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And I think it's because me and his father has done a good job. We're not together, but we don't talk about each other
Mm-hmm.
in front of him. We don't say disrespectful things about each other in
Yeah.
front of him. And then I respect his father's marriage as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a good sense of what marriage is supposed to be like. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So I'm very proud and I'm very honored to have a young young son that's already saying, Mom, when I get married. It's
Yeah.
not I'm gonna have all the girls and he's marriage minded. So he brought it to me, but it's my job to protect that.
Yeah. That
Right.
is,
So
yeah.
that's where I am now, protecting it and protecting how he views marriage and protecting how he holds it dear to his heart. So now I'm protecting the image that he created
Mhm.
because now he has something to work. That's his goal.
Yeah.
So
Impressive.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
That is.
Very
yeah. That's
impressive.
very
Yeah.
impressive.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, Nehemiah. Shout out to
He's
Nehemiah.
amazing.
know.
So I have two separate situations. So Mariah, she's 19 and in college, and Mariah is all about being this independent. She's
Mhm.
just all me. It is sometimes it's a little scary because
You
it's
to the
like,
T,
girl,
baby.
you don't want to like die lonely. Like she doesn't want kids. She's like, oh, marriage, maybe, maybe
She
not.
sounds like Hannah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
Mhm.
really, she's doing her thing. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. The
Mhm.
boys all want to be married, all of them.
Mm.
Christian the most.
Really?
Oh, Christian wants a family. He wants a wife. He's like, Mom, I'm going to do this. Christian cooks. He cleans.
Hello.
He fixes things. He wants to make all the money. He's just,
Mhm.
he's all
All
about
right,
family. And he
Christian.
has been since he was like 6 or 7.
I love that.
Like that is
Aw.
like ideal for him. He wants to be a family man.
Mhm.
Amari, he's like, I want to be married. He's like, maybe 1 or 2 kids, But I think that ultimately, just with all of them, and Jaden is just mushy on the inside, but he's still
Mm.
young. So as mature as Nehemiah is, Jaden is all about basketball. That is his
Mhm.
wife,
Right.
at the
Yeah.
moment.
That's what he
Mhm.
think about.
But
yeah.
I think just like how I said, my environment has been full of successful marriages, not
Mhm.
perfect, but successful marriages.
Mhm.
Mhm.
They are seeing that. So even though
Mhm.
That's
I'm
a
a
good thing.
widow, they don't view marriage as a bad thing.
Mhm.
They
That's
don't
good.
have this fear of
Mhm.
marriage. Oh, my husband might pass away, my wife might pass away. They
Yeah.
don't have that. They just have the normal view, like, hey, yeah, I would love to be married.
That's
I want to
good.
have a wife. I want
That's
to
a
have
good thing.
kids.
Mm.
Except Mariah, she's
I think
living her
that's
best
really
life.
interesting though,
She live her best
because
life.
like you said, we have a panel of women, but we're raising daughters who are like, yeah, marriage is not my top priority. I just
Mhm.
think I don't really have an answer for that,
Yeah,
but I just think it's interesting
it is.
that the women are now like that's just not in the forefront of Hannah's mind.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, like I said, maybe kids, she's like whatever, but like I said, she's not putting herself out there to date. She's like you said, doing her thing. And we have
Mhm.
those conversations all the time about, okay, like you said, like, is marriage still worth it? And I think, like you said, probably even in Hannah and Mariah's mind, it's probably, yeah, you see the value in it, but I don't necessarily see the value in it for me. You
Mm.
know,
Yeah.
which kind of
Good.
leads me to my next question is, do you see the value in marriage?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like what do like outside of the just dating, what do you think marriage really brings to the table? What is marriage going to add?
One thing I grew up hearing is my responsibility is to be happy. And then when I meet someone, it's their responsibility to add to the happiness, not to create it.
Yeah.
And that's what I look forward to, the additional happiness that comes with it. Now, I know we're going to have trials and tribulations and everything that comes with it, but I think I value the partnership that comes with marriage because I get to do life with you.
Mm-hmm.
Good, bad,
That's
and
good.
indifferent. I get to do life with this person, which means that I have a person who has loved me in my totality and still chose me, and I did the same thing for that person. So that's what I look forward to in marriage. Now we're gonna have some trials because I'm Tamika, right? I'm me. So I know what what you're about to go through. So thank you. But that partnership and knowing that I have a lifelong partner to do life with,
Mm-hmm.
ups, downs, indifference, hard times, good times. this is my person. You know what I'm saying? So I value partnership, and that's what marriage mirrors to me is partnership.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I guess you could say just somebody you picking to do life with, to be there for all those little small moments, like you said earlier about building, for us to just basically be able to build together with each and every little thing. Because, like Mika said, you're going to go through things regardless. It's going to happen. I know marriage is a war, is what my mama say. Because she always said it. I'll be like, a war, Mom? Dang, that's deep. But, it's like, why not? Like, I know for me, like I said, I don't want to be, of course, by myself or lonely. I would love to give all the love I have to somebody else, and you give it to me too as
Mhm.
well. I want to be able to do
Mhm.
those things and share those things, all those, because I'm a person that care. I care about the little stuff. I do. I'm excited for when I can be just thoughtful for no reason. I'm excited for, like, when you even mentioned the whole sandwich situation
Yes, make
about
that man a sandwich.
about your man coming in at this time of night. I'm
Mhm.
excited for those little moments. Like, okay, I know he's gonna want this. I already having that
Mhm.
ready for you because I am a thoughtful person.
Mhm.
So those type of things, I
You
am
look forward to caring for the man.
I
Yeah.
do, because
Mhm.
naturally I have to realize I'm like, I am a servant to a certain degree. I am. And so
Yes.
she get on my nerve.
Yes, she is.
She get on my nerve.
I-
To a certain degree, I look forward to those things because
Yeah.
it's gonna make me happy that I was able to just make your life a little bit easy. You supposed to make mine easier too. But
Yeah.
I just feel like we supposed to balance each other out.
Yeah.
You look for me when you having a rough day or for those hard times, and you feel like you can't just figure it out. Okay, well, babe, let's pray about this. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's go to God initially first on with whatever we dealing with. Like I do. I look forward to those kind of things. Those little things are exciting to me.
Mhm.
So I'll say, that's just me.
You are a servant.
She get on my nerves so bad.
I love the idea of building life and growing with just your person.
Yeah.
I think that if you marry the right person, there's so much that you can do.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when I think about relationships and marriages that last, I feel like the world gets it before the church does. And what I mean by that is there's all of these processes and procedures that they have, or trainings in the workplace
Mhm.
that work phenomenally. And we don't take any of that advice. And ultimately, a lot of that stuff is in your word. If you get in your word, naturally, humans want companionship.
Yeah. That's how
Mhm.
God
We
created
want
it.
to be,
Right.
yes, we
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
be with somebody. So I feel like it's just a natural thing that humans want. Like, I want to build with you. I want to grow. Like, teamwork makes the dream work. And we've
All right.
said that a
Okay.
million times.
Yeah.
But, like, do you really believe that?
Yeah.
And that's something that's so important, because what a man can bring to the table with a woman is amazing, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be, because I can't stand the 50-50 conversation, because that's not even
That's
real.
not real.
Right.
50-50
Sometimes
is not real.
I'm bringing 20 and he has to bring the 80, or he brings 100 and I'm at 0, whatever the case may be, right?
Mhm.
But I think that's just super exciting to be able to share my thoughts, my
Mhm.
concerns, my
Okay.
dreams, all with that person.
With my
Mhm.
best
It's
friend.
like that special. Yes, your
with
best
my best friend.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
seriously.
amazing.
Yeah,
And I
that's
think
a
about
good
my
feeling.
relationship with one of my best friends. Her name is Kim. And it is one of the best relationships that I have. Because I
Mhm.
mean, we can lean on each other about anything.
Mhm.
So to have her, and then to have my spouse
Mhm.
at that same level,
Yeah.
I mean, life is golden
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you can have that.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I knew I wasn't ready for marriage by the way I was treating my friends.
Hmm.
Right?
That's good.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Um,
good.
When I realized that I wasn't showing up for them the way they were showing up for me, I knew then I was not ready to be married, because I was very selfish and it was all about me. And that's why I said, if you would have asked me this a couple years ago, I would have told
Mhm.
you, heck no. But the more I started to become a better friend, that's the more I started to desire marriage because I get to do this with my best friend.
Yeah.
But a lot of people say that they're ready for marriage, but I can look at your friendships and tell, no,
Yeah.
you're not.
That's real
Mhm.
powerful
That's-
right
that's
there.
real.
You know what I'm
That
saying?
is
So
true.
You just
that's
help somebody.
Yeah,
That's
you did.
good.
No,
Yeah.
seriously.
That's how I figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's,
So
yeah,
I
that's
got one
real.
last question before we wrap this episode up. So you
Mhm.
all have kind of shared the ups and downs, and we've now come to the crescendo. So you don't have to disclose your status if you're dating or seeing somebody, but hypothetically,
Mm-hmm.
if a young man were to approach one or all of you, how would you like someone to approach you to at least initiate, or if they're going to show interest, how would you like to be approached?
I've been answering first this whole time, so I'll
That's
allow
on you, Bookie. You've
one
been
of
just
y'all.
jump
We just
dabbing
go
in.
back and forth.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
want
I've been
something
dabbing in.
simple. Just ask me out. Like, it doesn't have to be.
A grand gesture.
No,
It
does
really
not. I
don't.
like grand gestures, but you could do that later on. Just in the beginning, just ask me out. Don't stare at me
Right.
from across the room and then don't say anything. Like, I've had that a million times, and I'm
retarded.
like, do I look like I mean or?
I know I get told I
Mika,
look.
don't.
I know I get told I look mean a lot.
No,
Don't do
you
that.
don't. Tahana does.
No,
Excuse me.
no.
I
You don't look
appreciate
mean.
that.
No, okay.
I'm
You
just
might not think I
saying.
look
I'm
mean,
just
but
no
I've been told that I
Answer the
look.
question.
guys,
How do you
look
want to
mean.
be
We're just
approached?
normal.
Mhm.
So
Okay,
just
just
somebody just
simple.
I
You
mean,
don't
just
come to me,
ask.
and maybe that's
Open
scary
your mouth.
for me. I've never been a man, so I don't ask
That's a
women
good point.
out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so I don't know how that feels. Maybe he thinks I'm going to shoot him down, but I mean, I probably won't. I'll probably say, "Hey, sure, let's go out." Like,
Mhm.
I don't have
Keep
a
it
problem with that.
simple. You want to
Right,
go out
keep
for
it simple.
coffee? You want to go get coffee? You
I
wanna
don't
go
drink
for-
coffee, but we can go to Starbucks and I'll find something on the menu.
I love coffee.
It's simple.
She gonna
So-
always say coffee because she love coffee.
Coffee
so.
dates are okay. You know, that's a
Yeah.
conversation. Don't take me to the movies. Don't ask me out to dinner because I'm going to eat. You know what I'm saying? That's
And
what
I
I'm be
might
focused
fall
on.
asleep
That was
at the
our first
movies.
date.
Oh.
A movie.
Was it?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
our first
I
date.
If
can't
we
talk
both
to you.
fall
I'm a
asleep,
talkative. I'm a
that's
talkative person,
good.
so I want to go over coffee and chat or a walk or something.
Mhm.
My first date with a guy that I really like, we walked for 3 hours just having a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and that was really good. So
I'm
just
an
keep it
advocate
simple.
for walking. Let's do that.
Yeah,
Dominique?
something simple.
I mean, just keep it simple. Just open your mouth and ask. You know, just ask. Some people don't even say nothing.
They don't.
They just allude around it. You know, I was liking you when. Like, what? Why you didn't say nothing?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't. How was I supposed to know? I
Or they'll
can't
heart
read
your
your
picture
mind.
on social media, sir. if
Well, I
you
can
don't
tell you
ask
from a
me out-
guy's perspective, they feel like not only are you going to turn them down, you're going to turn them down in a royal way with a bullhorn. How dare
No.
you
Now,
come at
now,
me
I'll be
looking
honest.
like Tommy the
I've
Toad?
never
You
done
know,
that. I've never done
approaching
that.
me
I
with
will
them
not
crazy
be
looking- no.
rude or be mean to any
And
guy
that's
that
a
has
rare.
asked.
That's a rare thing, right? That's
Yeah.
in people's imaginations. But I can tell
Yeah,
you, some
just-
guys
The
do
worst we
that,
can say
right?
is no.
Well, I've had some people. I could say I ain't gonna say no names, but I've definitely had some people, and I'll just use church as an example. That, and I don't know why. I'm like, what you intimidated for? And they use a thing of, you know, you passed Corey Niece. What that mean? Like, what?
Well, there's a certain level of
Man, listen.
expectation.
At
I
the end
mean-
of the day, I'm like,
You-
I get it, but I'm
you
still
are the
a,
bishop's niece.
that's
though,
fine.
so-
But I'm still a regular person. So, and I have no problem with you giving, you know, respect and all this other stuff. But I'm still a regular person. So I want you to still be normal. I'm saying, like, y'all gotta be all overly extra. Like, I hate that. I'm not gonna lie. I hate that with a passion. Just be
Or you
normal.
can just come to church.
Hello, you can do that too.
Okay, let me ask you this
Like, I
question.
mean, like, you can still talk to me like, you know, like regular, but I've had that where people act like they can't have a conversation
That's
with me
true.
Yeah.
because
happens.
I am the
Mhm.
bishop's niece. You
Yeah.
know, me being the PK, they feel like they
Yeah.
can't do this, and I'll be like, and then I've literally told, like, I've said this to somebody, and somebody tried to do this. They called themselves was trying to holler. When I say was stuttering up a storm, I'm like.
Not stuttering.
It's out. Like, I don't know if he was just nervous.
He was nervous.
I know, but
You gotta help him through that.
I
though.
can't.
No, help him through that.
I'm
He
too
was
old.
just a little nervous.
I'm 32.
Now,
I'm
see,
too
that's
old.
something I could deal with.
What
if
you
I
mean
know
you too
that
old
he's
to help?
nervous,
If he's stuttering,
we can talk.
No.
through it.
I'm saying, like, if you can't get out what it is you just trying to say to me, you asking
Dominique,
me to
you're
go
intimidating
out.
him.
I'm not having it. No,
So
I'm
then let me
saying
ask
that.
you this question:
What?
Do you think like I said, because normally that's the norm. We as women, we usually wait for the guy to ask us. Do you think that's changed? So like,
It
if you saw a guy that you liked, would you go up to him and just, and be like, hey,
I'm be honest with you. Somebody just asked me that.
I
I'm
would.
definitely not the hey, what's up type, but I've been now learning how to put myself out there more if I do like something or if I do like you. It's flat out tell you now because it's like just on how like we was talking about like how the dating world is.
right.
I have learned to Dominic, you're gonna have to put yourself out there more. Dominic, you gotta
Yeah.
be
But
more
would you
confident.
approach a guy?
Will I just flat out walk up to you?
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? My name's Tamika. What's yours?
Mika will
Mika
definitely
will
do
do
it.
it.
Yeah.
You see, she's already got her
Mika
line.
has done it.
Yeah, she
Mika,
got
Tamika has
flashcards
done
that
it
she uses.
already.
And I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with
I don't
that.
think it's
you
nothing.
know?
I don't think it's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with
I'm not
that.
overly aggressive, but here's the thing. I'm funny, right? So that's how I approach.
Yeah, that's how she.
You know,
Yeah, that's how she
I'll
does.
giggle you right out. So I like to, if I see something that I like, I'm not going to be super aggressive about it, but I will make my presence known, and then you can go ahead and follow up with the
Same.
conversation.
Same.
And I like that because that to
yeah.
me is what makes it simple. And when you say that, you like, that's the way you would want a man to approach you.
Mhm.
It's like you don't have to be super aggressive,
Right.
Yeah.
but like you said, but just to make your intentions known.
Just
You're
to like,
introducing yourself.
like,
Hi,
hey, I am interested.
I see that you're interested in me. I'm interested in you. So
Yeah.
now the ball is in your
Yeah,
court.
court.
I've eliminated
The
all
risk.
your obstacles
Yeah.
and the
Yeah,
risks
yeah,
because
yeah.
now
That's
you
good.
know
Yeah.
that I'm interested.
I'm actually
so
interested.
now
yeah.
it's time for you to ask me for my number and take me to coffee.
make your move.
Okay.
I mean,
I
I've
like
done. I have done
Okay.
that. I have done that
Yeah.
kind of in a sense before, where I've been a little not pushy, but I definitely made it known, like, hey, what's up?
Have
And
you?
if you don't, I have. Just because you haven't been
goodbye.
there doesn't mean anything. You ain't been there, but
Okay.
I have.
This has been good.
I mean, I feel like I've been enlightened because once again, it gives me hope to know that once again that even though, like you said, when you see single people, that that the desire
Yeah.
to find their forever person
Mm-hmm.
is still there. It's difficult. It's a lot more difficult for,
Mhm.
like I said, for this generation and probably
Yeah.
even for the next generations. But like I said, just the fact that, like you said, that you're still open to the idea of getting married
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes marriage does seem like outdated. Like you have people living together, you have all of these different scenarios, all these different alternatives to marriage, and where people are feeling like, well, that's okay. I don't need a piece of paper to get married or whatever.
That piece of paper means something, though.
But right, but that's the point though. The piece of paper means something, and
They don't
for
think so,
some
but it do.
people, like you said, you'd be amazed at how many people think that that's actually what they don't need.
Yeah.
No,
And
you
so
do.
Sure.
You
that's
do.
why this conversation has been
It matters.
so important because marriage,
Mm-hmm.
not only still matters to God, it will
Yeah.
always matter to Him, but
Mhm.
it still matters to people, whether
Yeah.
or not you believe in God or
Or
not.
not. Yeah.
There are people out there that still believe in the sanctity and the unity of marriage.
Well, we just want to thank you, ladies, for sharing your hearts with us on this
Yes.
topic. I think you've just made it easier for some young men out there to sort of get the courage
Mm-hmm.
to make the approach. So thank you for being in the safe house.
Yes.
All right. Any last points anyone wants to leave for our viewers? Just look at the camera and tell them what you want them to know. If you have nothing to say, you don't have to say anything. But if you have something you want to
Okay.
share, go ahead and share your closing point.
I
Mhm.
think the most important thing is to trust God. Ultimately, God is the one that does not fail, ever.
Yeah.
And I am living proof of God never fails. He will always be there, even though we feel like sometimes we're in a space of loneliness or, unanswered
Mm.
prayers. Like, God has never failed me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
ever.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So,
That's good.
yes, I have been a widow for 15
Yeah,
years.
that's a long time.
But at the end of the day, I trust God.
Yeah.
That's just it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So if I don't get married for the next 5 or 10, I might cry a little bit. But
Just a little bit.
just a little bit.
Marriage.
But all you have to do is just trust in God. That's it. Trust in
That's
His
good.
will, trust in His way, trust in the path that you're on
And His
because there
timing.
is
Yeah.
a reason in His
Yeah.
timing.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
that.
that's it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And I guess I'll say, as far as if you are dating and you are single, because I just had a friend tell me this, and this was so true because we talk about this kind of stuff all the time. I mean, you do really just gotta date with God. You gotta date with God, because I mean, I know for me, I can be honest, I have not always dated with God. I have not, and that's just the truth. But it's like, well, if you want to get to a certain level, a certain place, that's just what you got to do, and everything that you do, and be confident. Those are some things that I know I've been working on personally, just my confidence level, because I can tend to just kind of just not really like say too much, but it's like, closed mouths don't get fed, so you got to open your mouth.
That is true.
Open your mouth, and that's what I've been trying to do, is just been more open and just being real with myself about what I feel, how I feel, what I want to do, what I don't want to do. And like I said, and just being intentional. That's the main thing. You just got to be intentional. And that's what I've been now trying to do now. I've been seriously trying to weave out people that I just know for a fact, like, you really ain't got no purpose of being here. Like, you just here just because. And I know I've got to a point now where I'm tired of that. So if you are really being serious and trying to date, you gotta date with intention. You got to. And like I said, date, and intention to find your forever person. Just, and be honest with yourself. So yeah, that's
And I
it
think
for me.
the biggest thing that I've learned is do the work.
Yeah.
While you're single, do the work. That man or woman is not going to be responsible for your healing.
Yeah.
And I think that while you are by yourself, don't be so wrapped up in the thought of finding a person that you keep losing yourself. Right? So while you're single, do the work. I'm a huge advocate of therapy, making sure that you're taking care of yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. And even as a single woman in ministry, there's power in yes, but there's also power in no. So do the work so that when that person does come, it'll be a fast track. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, do the work.
And there you have it.
Yeah.
Wise words from 3 lovely wise women. Thank you for
Thank you so much, guys.
being in the Safe House with us.
Thank
Thank you for
Right.
having us.
All right, y'all. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Give us some commentary. What say you about this topic? What do you have to say about what the ladies told us today? What do the brothers have to say about how to approach? You've learned some things,
Yes.
right?
I've learned some things.
Yeah, so we want to hear from you today. Remember to, support us, to, give us that like. And until we get together again, we love you. We love you. And as we end this episode, we end it with peace.